Are we live? I think we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, yes, tonight for some people it's like 4:30 in the afternoon for me. So we're gonna talk some draft before SmackDown starts. I wish I had a mic stand. I wish, cause I hate like coming live from the scene. Sean the gamer. Yo, that bitch got shot. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. How's everybody doing? I got a few more things. I gotta like making sure the stream is okay and all that stuff. Trying to get some people in here. It should be on Twitter that we are live. And I'm gonna start making like what is it? Setting what is that shit called? Reminders, like presetting everything, like setting schedule dates for these things. That way you can see it up on your news feed, like, oh, he's going live tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna start doing that. This was more of a spur of the moment thing, trying to just test some stuff out, trying to see about my little idea right here will work, because we're actually talking about the draft is in the title of the video now. You remember when the title used to be above the video and not below it? So yeah, let me just go ahead and just put this in the feed so people can know what we are doing, where, and I guess you could say why. So we can just get some more people in here. Hopefully, get some conversation going. So we'll probably get this started in about 2-3 minutes. Actually, uh, I want to talk about my top picks. I think for the night, I'm gonna stop touching my nose. I know we're in a pandemic, but I just got out the shower and stuff like that. My face is still kind of wet, trying to get the stuff off my face and stuff. It took me a minute to set this stuff up too, trying to get everything right. Had to adjust the lighting on the TV so you can see that we're actually talking about the WWE Draft. You can still see the little thing there. So, hope everybody's doing okay this evening. Sorry for the jank graphics too. I just had to grab a picture off Google real quick and then use this, make a little uh, cheap like things so you can see where you can find me at Sean the Gamer everywhere. You can see Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Skype. So yeah. Let me just put this on the Facebooks and now. I'm live talking about tonight's WWE Draft. Come join the fun and share your thoughts. Now the question is, do I want to type that again? So no, we're gonna select all, copy, and then paste that bitch somewhere else. So I guess while I'm doing this, I can start talking. Ain't nobody really here. I don't really expect anybody to come because this is kind of a dead channel. I'm trying to resuscitate or reincarnate this channel, I guess would be a better way of saying that. But yep, there it is. Post file. And then let's do it again. This time, I guess we can do it on Snapchat. Do we just? Is it gonna be, or am I sending it to one person, or is it gonna be in my stories? Oh yeah, see, it just be in my stories. I mean, gotta send it to certain people for that. So I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Um, like I said, I don't really expect a lot of people, or if anybody, to come. So we're just gonna chill out for a little while. I'm just gonna basically be rambling like I am now, shooting off some thoughts. Uh, See who can be drafted where. I'm not. I know there's two separate draft pools. All right. So first things first. If you don't know the rules for this draft, they're basically the same as last year's draft. Um, for every two picks SmackDown gets, Raw gets three because Raw has the extra hour. Um, this year there's going to be two pools: a pool that can be drafted from tonight and a pool that can be drafted from on Monday night. And then um Anybody that's not signed by the end of Monday will be considered a free agent and can go to any brand that they want to. I do not know if that includes NXT as well in that. Um what else? What else about this draft? And there are like 15 people that aren't in this. Like 15 to 20 people that aren't in this draft this year because either they're A, not on the active roster right now like Samoa Joe, B, they're injured or pregnant like the Viking Raiders and Becky Lynch. Yeah, the Viking Raiders are pregnant and Becky Lynch is injured. I'm just joking. And people who just aren't really around, like Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar. I don't think. Well, is Brock Lesnar even like still technically with the company right now? That's another question that I have. So that'd be interesting if like SmackDown draft Brock Lesnar, just so we can get another Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match for the Universal title, which I hope doesn't happen. But it is the WWE, so you never know. You will never know. What else is going on? Let me see if I can do one of these numbers real quick, just so I don't have to. This should work. This should be decent. I just hold the mic right there, so I don't have to keep doing stuff. And we can try to get some more people in here. Uh, so that anybody watching, just feel free to leave a live chat. Anything we can have some discussions about some stuff. And I say about another minute or two, we're actually going to get into the actual draft picks. There is a pre-show tonight with Booker T and Renee. I'm about to call her Renee Pacitti. No, Renee Young. Let's call her Renee Young. And they are doing like a pre-show thing tonight. So I'll probably just put this on one of my, have that playing on one of my phone. Ooh, excuse me. And there's a lot of interesting news that came out over the last couple of days. So we'll be talking about that too. The whole Alberto Del Rio Del Patron, he might be facing life in prison. What else is going on? The potential merger, the potential partnership between New Japan and AEW, the AEW 1 year anniversary show that's going to be next week. There's 4 title matches announced for that. How many titles are in AEW now? Heavyweight, TNT, women's, tag teams, and FTW, which is not really a recognized title. It's technically 6 now because you have the BTE championship too, but that's not really a wrestling title. That's going to be more like a, I want to use the term up down down title, where it's like not necessarily being defended in video games, but being defended doing like random like stuff. So you could probably see like a one-on-one match in basketball for the BTE title. Got to get it right. I'm rocking the club tonight. Too sweet forever. Um, in my oversized Kenny Omega shirt, I'm kind of feeling like a little uncomfortable because it's like this is a 2X shirt and I'm like a medium to small depending on the the clothing brand and stuff like that. So I used to be a 2X. Not hating on you know people who can wear this shirt. You know, sometimes I miss being bigger because people ask you to do less stuff when you're bigger. Unless it comes to like moving stuff, people ask you to do less when you're bigger. So yeah, miss it. What was I doing? Why am I just scrolling? I'm supposed to be promoting the channel right now. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. If we get people, we get people. We don't, we don't. Either way, we're gonna have a good time for like the next 15, 20 minutes until I decide to start getting ready to watch SmackDown. SmackDown. So let's talk about some of my top draft picks. Um, let's see. Number one, I want to see John Morrison and The Miz split up. I want to see them split up because John Morrison and The Miz. The Miz is one of my favorites. John Morrison has always been one of my favorites. So is The Miz ever since he's doing the hosting thing on SmackDown. John Morrison, he's just one of those world travel people. Even when he was first came to WWE as Eminem, and then ECW, and turned from Johnny Nitro to John Morrison, and then he went on the independent scene and turned into Johnny whatever promotion he was in. Basically, you had Johnny Impact. You had I was about to say Johnny Lucha. It wasn't Johnny Lucha. What was his name? Was he still John Morrison in Lucha Underground? I don't know. Whatever. But you know what I'm saying. I want to see him get drafted to Raw. No, I want to see him stay on SmackDown. But he might end up getting drafted to Raw. I think he'll be a better fit on SmackDown as the Friday Night Delight and hair in my mouth. Uh, a better fit on SmackDown because it's a better show. Better show. It is a better show. It's a shorter show, so he can, you know, he's not being drowned in that 3 hour garbage that we get every Monday. I hate to say it like that. You get a Johnny Nitro, John Morrison on Raw. He's he's gonna have more time to break out, but are they really gonna let him break out? Depending on who's there. Like I would love to see a Drew McIntyre versus John Morrison match for the top title because that's what I want to see. I don't want to see John Morrison in the mid card to like lower card scene anymore like he's been in. Not saying he's not, well, he's not really doing anything. He's not in the top level where he should be right now on SmackDown, and I think that's only because he needed to get back used to the groove of things. So the easiest way to do that was to pair him with John Morrison, pair John Morrison with John Morrison. What is this? Stargate or something? You compare him back with the Miz. They had a nice little run. He's back into the groove of things. He's always been. He's a great wrestler. He's gotten better on the mic. Like I said, with his travels. So I think that'll be a very interesting thing to see. A a top level John Morrison push. So, and I don't. And he probably should go to Raw. Now that I think about it, because as long as Roman's the top champ on SmackDown, he probably is not gonna get that top push. So, yeah. So I just switch everything. I say you keep Miz on SmackDown and you put Johnny Nitro. I keep calling him Johnny Nitro now. John Morrison on Raw, and then hopefully they'll find something good and creative to do with him on Raw, and he's just not like jobbing out to Retribution. Oh God. Ugh. Speaking of Retribution, I think the Hurt Business is getting split up. Yeah, swerved you there. I think the Hurt Business is getting split up, but not like split, but like they're going to like expand across two brands. And I would love to see Retribution do the same thing, but Retribution right now, if they okay, if they would have started off this whole thing with like them attacking people and then kept okay, on Raw, they have they had Retribution messing shit up. And on SmackDown, they brought back the hacker gimmick. So like on Raw, on Mondays, everything is getting destroyed. Raw's getting destroyed. People are getting attacked just because 3 hours feel more time with attacks and things like that, I guess. And then on SmackDown, you can have more technical things like glitching and lights and flickering and all that stuff. Just like, is this a part of Retribution too? Like, even have Retribution signs like flicker on and off, or even have like the Mustafa hand thing. Now that we know he's the leader of Retribution, um, that would be a good way to have them split across both brands too. If that makes if I got that off right. So basically, I think if there's two groups that can be separated but still stay together, would be the Hurt Business, because you can have MVP going across both brands, recruiting more people for the stable, and you can have like this like, imagine a world where you have the Hurt Business in control of both set of tag team titles, because you can have like Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin on one brand as tag team champions, and you can have MVP recruit uh the Lucha House Party as the her that's just an example. Don't take that as gospel. Have him recruit like two new people on SmackDown, and they can take control of the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and then you have Bobby Lashley as your U.S. champion on one brand, and then somehow get the belt off Sami Zayn, and it can be like a really cool thing or a cool dynamic. Or even if you want to do like I just said, you can have Retribution versus a Hurt Business. That can be like a big thing at Survivor Series next month. Ooh, that's a couple of weeks build, but that's WWE for you. So like you can have a Retribution, and you can do both really. You can have both of those ideas spread out across both brands, and that can bring in like these other factions that are being talked about or discussed, and they have to just I don't know. It's a lot of possibilities with the group situation, especially with these draft rules. So I think there's a lot of interesting things you can do with it. I should have had notes. Like this is spur of the moment thing, so I'm just rambling off things. But yeah, you can have one of those groups, and I got this idea from Stephen Larson. Shout out to them, because they were just talking about how there was an article on PW Insider or one of those sites where they were saying that the New Day, you will have Kofi on one brand, Big E on the other, and you have Xavier Woods being the manager that keeps them together as the New Day. So it wouldn't be like Kofi's leaving the group or Big E's leaving the group. It'd be them both representing the New Day just on different brands. And even then, you can still, I don't know if you want to expand the New Day by bringing in one or two more people on each brand. Maybe like you can have like uh, Kofi teaming up with somebody on SmackDown or wherever he lands, and Big E maybe still having that singles push on Raw, but still have like a backup until Xavier Woods is actually ready to compete again, if that makes any sense. So and just have Xavier Woods be that mouthpiece or that connecting piece between them that still keeps them the New Day and still keeps the whole thing together as a faction. And that's what basically what I'm saying with Retribution and the Hurt Business. So I think that'd be a cool thing, and then that'd be a cool way to, or even just have it be Retribution that gets split up and have Mustafa Ali be the one that keeps the two groups together. Like you can have I have to. You can have T Bar. You can have T Bar and Mercedes Martinez on one brand, and then you can have Slapjack. You can have Slapjack, Mace, and Mia Yim on another brand, wreaking havoc. And then you just slowly start like bringing in all these other people, building, making it like an infection of the WWE. You know that sounds like a good idea. Making it an infection of the WWE, where like they're a parasite. It's this thing that just keeps growing, and then you have the Hurt Business trying to fend them off on one brand, and then you have this Roman Empire that's about to be hopefully put into existence on SmackDown, trying to fight them off. I hope that makes sense, because that'd be like a really cool idea. Now that I think about it, you have Retribution be this like this plague, this Walking Dead virus of zombies just on both brands, fucking shit up, and then you have to have like this collective effort of the Hurt Business on Raw. Maybe another faction or group of people have to get together, like kind of like what Apollo Crews did with Ricochet, Viking Raiders, and all them. They just had to get together to try to fend off the Hurt Business, and then all of a sudden Retribution comes in the line, and then all of a sudden that's causing more like, all right, we have the Hurt Business we got to deal with, and now we got Retribution, which is another thing that really needs to be explained and like really thought out more, because Ali was helping Ricochet and Apollo. So what's going to happen with that dynamic right there? Are they going to join Retribution, or are they going to join the? They're going to join the Hurt Business. They're going to join the Hurt Business. All of this may have been not leading to anything, but this can all be salvaged. All those 10 months we had a retribution, we had the Hurt Business fighting Ali and them, leads to them having like Ali's just like, you can either join me or you're against me, and they say, we don't want to, like, we don't have any gripes. We just want a better position on the card, and the way you're doing it is not right. So then it's like clicks with them, like, oh shit, maybe MVP was right. Maybe we do need to join him. It's strength in numbers. We've been getting beat down like left and right by them, and now we're gonna have to turn around and worry about Ali and his retribution niggas. Ooh, sorry, can't use that word. His retribution people, um, attacking us now. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I'm joining. They're gonna join the Hurt Business. That way, when they uh get split, you can still have, like, there's so many ways you can do this. You make retribution this big thing that is basically taking over everything on the main roster, and you have to have the Samoan Dynasty on one brand, and then you have the Hurt Business on the other brand to fight off this thing. We have spent way too much time talking about retribution, way more time than needed, and I didn't even get to like really criticize the names. So we're not even going to do that right now. So I hope you guys get what I'm saying with that idea. But anyways, more picks. Let's run through these real quick. I want the titles to switch, and that's another reason. Well, if you do that, if you put Sami Zayn on, or because I'm really thinking, do you really want to have the Hurt Business and Retribution with WWE booking on both brands? So that's what I'm really thinking. You don't want to do that, so you just have Retribution split. That way you can have two different. It's like Retribution is this thing. You have two different entities trying to stop them. I was trying to figure out a way to make this. Do you have like for for I got an idea. For Survivor Series, you have Retribution versus the WWE. Just like last year, it was kind of like NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw. You can do Retribution versus WWE for Survivor Series. That way, you'll have reason. So, like I said, if you put Slapjack and T-Bar, you put Slapjack, T-Bar, they'll start recruiting more people or bringing more, and that's probably how they're bringing people up from NXT as a part of Retribution. There's a lot of like names that are just sitting down there that aren't really doing anything. If you want to bring some more people up just to fill out this Retribution stable across both brands, this is a good way to do it. Especially if you don't just want to call people up from NXT without any purpose, like you've been doing for the past couple of years, ruining people like the said names that are in Retribution, the said names that have been trying to figure out what Retribution is, and the people in Retribution, to be honest. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. So you bring up some people from both brands, and then you can have like uh uh there's a lot of different possibilities for this. I think if I really sat down and thought about it, which I'm going to do. That's going to be one of the next videos I do. Probably like a Monday video. I'm gonna have of just like the or Tuesday, depending on what they do tonight. I just have like an idea, like or rip off. I'm about to say Adam Cole. Rip off Adam Cole, baby. You know what I'm talking about. The one, the rebooking guy that's on. Where is my brain? Russell Talk now. Why can't Adam Blampier? Like the booking thing. They probably have like a how to book Retribution thing, or how to book Retribution thing. And why are we still talking about Retribution? Because we're talking about Bobby Lashley, was part of the Hurt Business. So I was thinking you can switch. You can switch the mid card titles, but I don't think you should do that, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want the Hurt Business on two different brands as well. I mean, it'd be cool just to have MVP there, or have Bobby Lashley there, still being represented by MVP, but I just think for the sake of storyline, if you want to do like a spread out thing, you keep one group on one brand, have a new group that has to spread out because you what you really could do if you really want to be. I know I keep keep jumping things. Once the draft is done, and like during the draft over the next couple of days, you can just have like retribution. It was like, oh, the next pick is like, say like they put Ali back on SmackDown, and then Ali comes out, he's like staring down Roman Reigns while he's cutting a promo, and then he just gets jumped by like some new people in Retribution, and then that can kind of explain the other masked characters, even though depending on who they put in there, it's not going to explain the size difference in like weight and stature and stuff like that. But it still be a good idea, and then that will force like, but wouldn't that turn Roman Reigns good? Yeah. So you get a new stable started on SmackDown. Who will run that stable? Hmm. If you're gonna do a team of good guys on SmackDown that has to fight Retribution, who would it be? We'll think about that later. But I just think that's a really good idea. Just having Retribution be a plague and virus. You don't switch the mid card titles, which I keep talking about. What you could do. This is gonna sound out the blue, but you could switch the tag champions. I know it don't make sense, but you could. You can still say that it is easier to switch. What's Bobby Lashley doing on Monday? Real talk. If Bobby Lashley's not doing anything on Monday, you put Sami Zayn on Raw. Have Bobby Lashley drop that belt to somebody, and then have that belt get switched over back to SmackDown. Do something like that. But I do want to see Sami Zayn on Raw. Just saying. Kevin Owens, Raw. Uh, Seth Rollins, SmackDown. Uh, no. Sasha Banks, Raw. Sasha Banks needs to go to Raw. Why? Because she's not winning against Bailey tonight. If they're okay, since they're split them. I know a lot of people probably heard that, but that's common sense. However you get them back for WrestleMania, I don't want them to fight each other at Hell in a Cell. I don't want them to fight each other again at Survivor Series. Then I don't want them to fight again at the Royal Rumble. Then take a little hiatus, and then I don't think they're gonna do an elimination chamber because I don't even think they're doing uh war games this year. So I don't think they're doing an elimination chamber next year, depending on the COVID situation. So you just separate them, and if the pay-per-views are cross-branded anyways, you just put Sasha on Raw, have her win the Royal Rumble, and then you go on to have her be like, "No, Bailey, I'm coming back for my damn title. Well, I'm coming back to whoop your ass for all the things that you did to me over the past couple of months leading up to WrestleMania." And then that'll just be a good way to keep them apart. And then maybe like I was thinking maybe a few weeks, or maybe WrestleMania is like in like the middle of April, right? Beginning in middle of April. Royal Rumble's in January, February, March. We're doing the draft uh, in October, the beginning of October, really. October, November, December. You can either do like set up like a shake up, not a draft, but a shake up, like a superstar shake up, where a few superstars are going to get traded, switch rosters, and then Sasha, you can put Sasha, since she's already going to win the Rumble, back on SmackDown. So she won't be away from Bailey long, but long enough so they don't do a billion matches with them to before they even have, before they so they can. I just want them to have one good match before they start doing all the rematches on the main roster. If that makes any sense, I don't want I don't want what's going on with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton to happen with Sasha and Bailey because they've only had a handful of matches in the WWE period against each other. And the one time they had like their takeover match, that was like one of the best women matches ever. And you know WWE likes to squeeze that lemon until there's no juice left in it. And I don't want that to happen. Other things that I want to see happen in this draft tonight. The Fiend, the Fiend, uh, the Fiend. I don't know. You can keep the Fiend on SmackDown. You put Kevin Owens on SmackDown. That's another thing. You switch. You keep. I want to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kept apart a little bit longer. I want to see them back together because WWE needs tag teams. But I think individually, if we can do something with this Kevin Owens character, we can have. I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are two of the best performers they have in the company right now. They really aren't really doing anything with, especially on the Kevin Owens side. Sami Zayn just came back. He has his title back. You put him on Raw, give him a little bit more spotlight, let him elevate some people in great matches for the Intercontinental title on Raw. Put KO on SmackDown, and then whoever has the United States title if it comes to SmackDown, you let him win that off of them, or you just put him straight. No, because I do want to see Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, but I don't want to see it happen right off the back of like a Fiend Kevin Owens program, which we're getting a little bit now. So if you do keep the Fiend and Kevin Owens on SmackDown, I think you have the Fiend go after Roman first in the near future. You let Kevin Owens have a good little mid card run to reestablish himself as a dominant competitor. He doesn't have to be a heel. He doesn't have to be like a jerk or anything like that. He just needs to be fight Owens fight, or even just take it back to kill Owens kill. Like let him get that ruthlessness back to him, and just let him be Kevin Owens. That way you can have another competitor for Roman Reigns in the foreseeable future. What else do they do? Um, you can technically put Shayna Baszler on SmackDown. I know she's a Raw Women's Champion, and the rule in the draft is you can take one or the other or the whole tag team. But I think Nia Jax can stay on Raw, and then yeah, Nia Jax can stay on Raw. No, put Nia on SmackDown. Put Nia on SmackDown, and then have Shayna Baszler on Raw. That way we can have Asuka versus Baszler at WrestleMania. That sounds good to me. Um, Honestly, if you're splitting up Vega and Andrade, put Vega. No. Put Andrade on SmackDown. Put Andrade on SmackDown. Um, I'm trying to put Andrade on SmackDown. Vega can stay on Raw where she can, work a little bit more with some people like Mickey James and things, and Oscar can get a little bit better. Sasha Banks when she goes over there. Let Vega get back into her wrestling and not managing persona. Natalia's over there too. Put Lana on SmackDown. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of this whole boat shit. I'm tired of it. I'm trying to think about these women because I'm trying to freshen up this women's division on both brands. Is Chelsea Green on the main roster or is she back in NXT? Because if Chelsea Green is on the main roster, I would say put her. because nobody's beating Bailey. Put yeah, put her on Raw too. I know nobody's beating Oscar anytime soon, but at least Chelsea Green could be the one to beat Oscar if given the proper push. I was gonna say Carmilla, but we tried that before, making her win when she probably should not have won, giving her the money in the bank. And no, I love Carmilla, and I think her character works better on Friday Night SmackDown. Mela is money. I fucks with Carmilla. I just want to put that out there. Yeah, you put Chelsea Green on Raw, and you build her up enough so she can be the one to beat um Oscar. That's if she's in uh the draft pools. Cause I don't think I saw her name listed on the two lists that were there. SmackDown's about to start. I'll probably go for like 5 more minutes and I'll start watching that. Uh, there's just a lot of. I'm gonna end it here. I think there's a lot of different things that can be done with this draft. I'm sorry I spent so much time talking about the retribution. Retribution. I can't speak. Oh, I'm stop. The retribution. Her business and factions and things like that. But I think if you want to build something big, like big storylines around that, there's just a lot of things you can do. You have Sasha. If you want big news coming out of tonight to build up hype for Monday, Sasha to Raw. Retribution gets split up, but yet expands. Just shock some people. Put Seth Rollins on SmackDown right at the beginning of the show. They might be doing that now. So where's my? I'm watching on the TV back here, but while I'm still talking and shit, let me go ahead and pull it up on my phone. And while I'm thinking about who else can go where, the two top champions aren't going nowhere. The two women champions aren't going nowhere, and the tag team champions aren't going nowhere. Switch the mid card titles. Put R-Truth on SmackDown. Put R-Truth on SmackDown. That way we can at least freshen up. I know it's a joke division. I know it's a joke title, but it gives certain people something to do on TV. And I think you need to separate Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak from that scene. And I think the only way to do that now is to separate them from the 24/7 title, which means putting R-Truth on SmackDown. And then maybe you can even have Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak have this this alliance where they can turn into a tag team and actually be the ones. I wouldn't mind if you give Akira Tozawa and Gulak a couple of like a decent little build to a tag team title match. They can be the ones to beat the Street Profits because there are no tag teams on Lucha House Party to Raw. That's why I don't forget about that. Lucha House Party to Raw too. I think you have a Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik go to Raw. You keep Kalisto on SmackDown. Or do you have Kalisto be one of those people who don't get signed? Actually, have the whole Lucha House Party not get signed, over the draft, and then they be a free agent. Let them go back down to NXT so they can be on 205 Live. It's a lot of people in the WWE that can be switched. AJ Styles to Raw. AJ Styles to Raw. Let me just say that. How did I not say that? I like there's something about this Bullet Club shirt that I have on that's making me remember the Bullet Club. But AJ Styles to Raw, that will give Drew McIntyre. Oh, Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles for the WWE title. Greatness. One of my biggest concerns. One of my biggest concerns about this draft is if Seth Rollins goes to SmackDown with this Roman Reigns. What happens there? What happens? What happens? Do you just what? Do it. That'd be such a good match. Dick Seth Rollins versus Dick Roman Reigns for the universe for the for the dictatorship title. That's basically what the universal title is. Have y'all noticed that the universal title is just a dictatorship title? Who's had that title that has like had dominance over it? Three people: Roman, Brock, Goldberg. Finn got injured. KO got squashed. Did Seth have the universal title? Did Seth have the universal title? I don't remember. I don't remember. They need to make the belts look different again. You remember when you had Big Gold and the JBL belt? I call it the JBL belt. That's the only person that I loved with that belt. Who else had it? Brock had it. Uh, Eddie had it. You know what I'm talking about. You had Big Gold and you had like the actual WWE belt. I miss when the belts looked different. That's why when people shit on the Divas title, I know I hated what that belt represented, and it wasn't the best design, but it was different. You know what I'm saying? Because you had the egg, and then you had the butterfly. You had the egg, and then you sprout into a beautiful butterfly. But yeah, that I think that it just we need new belts. I'm tired of penny tag team titles. I'm tired of all the belts with the WWE. I still think the best one out of all of them with the WWE logo on it is the Raw Women's title. Just because that red on that white with the diamonds and stuff with the that's such a pretty belt. That's such a pretty belt. Uh, the IC title and the new United States title, those are decent looking belts, but nothing can beat that white strapped classic intercontinental belt. I love that belt. I actually got it in the closet. I would pull it out, but is that the one? Yeah, that's the one I got in the closet. Yeah, I love that belt. I think it's time. I think it'll be okay. At least after uh what Survivor Series. What's the next pay per view? Hell in a Cell. Yeah, don't even. Yeah, just start slowly introducing new designs to these titles. That way, at least up till WrestleMania, say like you can have like these big reveals, or do it at WrestleMania. Just have these like big reveals for like these new belts. Like every match, like there's a new belt presented to the winner of the match. Like they walk out with the old belt, and then you have like somebody representing the brands. When they come up the ramp, you can present them with a new belt, or like even before the match start, if you want to, like have Bailey versus SmackDown. That's basically what it's been. Bailey versus Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title, and then we unveil a brand new belt for at least one brand. One brand needs new belts. If you want to have a consistency of looks for the belts, say like on SmackDown, if you want to keep the WWE Universal title looking the same, and then you have the women's title looking the same, and then you have a different design for the SmackDown, just add a different design to the SmackDown tag team titles that's kind of uniform but different to the way those other two titles looks, and same with the US title that's already got a new look. And then you can do the same thing with Raw, but just have them, if you want the belts to look uniform, you can also do the same thing with the WWE title, and then the tag titles and the Raw Women's title. Just make them look a little bit different than the other show's belts. That confuses a lot of people. Because if you look at the graphic that I have now, you can't see Bailey's belt, but it looks the same as Asuka belts, but it's blue. You see the Universal title and the WWE title. One's blue. What the fuck? This is $1 billion company. They fired 1 billion people. They still got billions of dollars. We still got the same ass, ugly ass, looking ass belts, except for the Raw and women's titles and the Intercontinental title. I'm still getting used to the US title, but I think that's enough yelling. I've been doing this for like 45 minutes live, just yelling. Probably there's no one. Probably yelling at myself right now, but it's been fun. We'll probably do another one of these on. Okay, phone. We'll probably do another one of these on Monday, like a little live session before Raw goes live. Doing a little recap of what happens tonight. It's already 8 minutes into the show, and I'm pretty sure there's been some blockbuster announcement Michael Cole is talking about right now. Uh, so I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this. I'm about to go enjoy this. I'm about to go find me something to eat real quick, cause yelling into a microphone for like 45 minutes get your stomach rumbling. So hope everybody has a good night. Probably see you guys tomorrow for something. Probably go over, like I said, I'm gonna talk about some other news and stuff that I just wanted to talk about, like the whole Alberto situation. Talk about some of the AEW stuff, or probably just do a whole video dedicated to AEW tomorrow, or like a whole live stream thing dedicated to AEW the first year, and just give my thoughts, opinions, and how COVID really changed up not the storylines in AEW, but how it made them present things going forward. Ever since they realized they weren't going to be able to run live shows with live people anymore, I think they really. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Um, Follow the link. Well, I'll probably put some links and stuff in the description down below. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. I didn't put Twitch on a little layout thing. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I'm going to try to start going live on Twitch as well in the near future. Um, if you have any comments or have any ideas about what I was talking about, if you understood what I was saying down below as well. Like I said, I know I was doing a lot of rambling and things like that, but it was, like I said, this was a spur of the moment thing. I just wanted to talk for a little bit. So, yeah, like I said, guys, have a good night. Sean the Gamer.